What happened to the Ark of the Covenant, the most sacred object in the Bible, and its mysterious disappearance? Imagine an object so powerful, so sacred that it couldn't be touched without causing death, so holy that once a year, only one man, the high priest, was allowed to stand in front of it after days of purification, and even then, with a rope tied around his waist in case he collapsed from the sheer presence of God. Now imagine that this object vanished, not stolen, not broken, not destroyed, just gone. No announcement, no record, no farewell, only silence. That's the mystery of the Ark of the Covenant. And today we're going to investigate not just where it went, but what it meant, and why its disappearance might be more spiritual than physical. Because this isn't just a biblical artifact, it was the closest point of contact between humanity and God ever recorded in Scripture. And now, it's one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in human history. Welcome to Archivos Sagrados UC, where we open the ancient scrolls, decode the forgotten verses, and follow the clues that most never dare to ask about. Here, we are not afraid of mystery, because we believe mystery hides meaning, and silence, it often hides truth. If you're new here, subscribe now and join the search. Because in this channel, we don't just study Scripture, we uncover the hidden spiritual architecture of reality. Got your popcorn? Let's go. Chapter 1. The Ark. More than just a box. At first glance, the Ark of the Covenant was a wooden chest, but not just any chest. It was built from acacia wood, a type of tree resistant to decay and overlaid with pure gold inside. And out, its lid was called the mercy seat, flanked by two golden cherubim, their wings outstretched, their eyes cast downward. In reverent silence, between their wings, was the Shekinah, the visible glory of God. Inside the ark were three sacred objects. 1. The 2 stone tablets with the 10 Commandments, written by the very hand of God. 2. Rod of Aaron, which had miraculously budded, symbolizing divine authority. 3. A golden jar of manna, the mysterious food from heaven that fed Israel in the desert. The ark wasn't a symbol, it wasn't a decoration. It was the throne of God on earth, a place where heaven and earth met, where the divine touched the human. When the Israelites carried the ark, rivers parted. When it entered the camp, enemies trembled. When it was captured by foreign nations, they were cursed with tumors and plagues. When someone touched it without authorization, they fell dead on the spot. It wasn't just sacred, it was dangerous. It was alive. Chapter 2. The Journey of the Ark. The Ark's journey begins at Mount Sinai, where Moses received the commandments and divine instruction for its construction. It traveled with the people of Israel for 40 years in the wilderness. It went before them in battle, leading the way like a supernatural shield. When the people settled in the Promised Land, the Ark was kept in various places, Shiloh, Nob, Gibeon, but it wasn't until King David that the Ark was brought to Jerusalem, carried with dancing, music and sacrifice. And then came Solomon, David's son, who built the first temple. At the center of that temple was a room so sacred, so untouchable, that no light, no sound, no priest, no people could enter. It was the Holy of Holies. There, the Ark rested in perfect stillness, behind a curtain so thick it took hundreds of men to move it, and there, once a year, on the Day of Atonement, the high priest would enter, trembling, to sprinkle blood upon the mercy seat and intercede for the sins of the nation. This moment was so intense, so weighty, that if the priest's heart wasn't right, he could die in the presence of God. And then centuries passed, and suddenly the Ark disappears. Chapter 3. The Silence After the Fall. In 586 BC, the unimaginable happened. The The Babylonians invaded Jerusalem. They destroyed the temple, burned the city, and sent the people of Israel into exile. But among all the devastation, there's one thing the Bible never mentions: what happened to the Ark. The Book of Kings lists all the objects taken from the temple: gold, bronze, utensils, but no mention of the Ark. Was it destroyed, taken, hidden? Strangely, from that moment on, the Ark of the Covenant disappears from history. It's not in the Second Temple. It's not mentioned again as being seen. Not in the Gospels. Not in the early church. The holiest object in the world simply vanishes from the story. Some say this silence is intentional, that those who knew its location took the secret to the grave, that the Ark wasn't just lost, it was concealed. Chapter 4. Theories of the Hidden Ark. Over the centuries, dozens of theories have emerged. Let's explore some of the most intriguing. 1. The temple tunnels. Some ancient rabbis believe that before the Babylonian invasion, the priests foresaw the disaster coming, and so they took the Ark and hid it in a network of tunnels beneath the Temple Mount. These tunnels exist, but due to religious tensions and sacred restrictions, they're off limits to excavators. Many believe the Ark still lies below in a chamber untouched for over 2,500 years, protected, sealed, waiting to the Jeremiah prophecy. The apocryphal book of 2 Maccabees says that the prophet Jeremiah, warned by God, took the Ark and hid it in a cave on Mount Nebo, the mountain where Moses first saw the promised land. Jeremiah then sealed the cave and declared, "This place shall remain unknown until God gathers his people and shows his mercy." This suggests the Ark is meant to remain hidden until the time of restoration, until the end. 3. The Ethiopian claim in Axum, Ethiopia. There's a church called Our Lady Mary of Zion. There, for centuries, the people have claimed that the true Ark of the Covenant resides inside. It's guarded by a single monk who is never allowed to leave the church grounds. No one else is allowed to see the Ark, not scholars, not government officials, not even other clergy, only one man, until his death. Then, another is chosen. Is this madness, or the last link to a forgotten truth? Chapter 5. Modern clues and strange connections. In 1981, a man named Ron Wyatt, a controversial explorer, claimed to have found the Ark buried beneath the crucifixion site of Jesus, hidden in a cave under Golgotha. He said that blood had dripped through a crack in the rock and landed on the mercy seat itself. Many dismiss this as fantasy. Others call it the most profound connection between the Old Covenant and the New. There are even modern conspiracies. Some say secret organizations, even governments or religious orders, have already located the Ark but keep it hidden to prevent chaos or war. Because if the Ark reappeared, who would claim it? Jews, Christians, Muslims. 3. Faiths, one object, infinite conflict. Maybe silence is the safest choice. Chapter 6. The Ark and the End of Times. In the final book of the Bible, Revelation chapter 11 verse 19, there's a moment that catches almost no one's attention. Then God's temple in heaven was opened, and within his temple was seen the Ark of his covenant. Wait, the Ark? In heaven? Many theologians debate this passage. Some say it's symbolic, others believe it's literal. That the Ark we knew on earth was just a shadow of something greater in the spiritual realm. That the real Ark, the eternal one, has always been in heaven. If that's true, then maybe the Ark didn't disappear. Maybe it returned home. Maybe it was never meant to be preserved as a relic, but to fulfill a greater purpose, one that's not yet finished. Chapter 7. The Ark as a living symbol. Let's step beyond archaeology for a moment. What if the real mystery of the Ark is not where it is, but what it represents? The Ark was God's presence among men, a box, yes, but more than that, a symbol of connection between spirit and flesh, between creator and creation. Its disappearance might not be a tragedy, it might be a transition. Because when Jesus came, he became the new dwelling place of God. The Word became flesh, and the presence once locked behind a curtain now walked among us. And after Jesus came something even more radical. According to the New Testament, we became the temple. We became the dwelling place. Could it be that the Ark lives on, not as a golden box, but as the divine spark in each soul that carries the covenant forward? Chapter 8. Final reflection. Is the Ark really lost? So, what really happened to the Ark of the Covenant? Maybe it was hidden. Maybe it was taken. Maybe it rests beneath a mountain or a temple or in a country no one suspects. Or maybe it's not about finding the Ark. Maybe it's about becoming what the Ark represented. A place where the law is written not on stone, but on the heart. A place where God meets man, not through fire and smoke, but through presence and love and mystery. We may never see the Ark again, and maybe we're not supposed to, because the greatest mysteries of God are not always meant to be discovered, but to be lived. Now it's your turn. What do you think happened to the Ark of the Covenant? Do you believe it's still out there hidden, or has it already fulfilled its purpose? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's open this discussion together. Subscribe to Archivos Sagrados USA and join us on this journey through the forgotten, the mysterious, and the divine. Because sometimes what seems lost is exactly what the world needs to remember.